Do you ever get that strange feeling of déjà vu in your own life? That moment when you're in the middle of an argument and you realize you've had this exact same fight before, just with a different person? Or that sinking feeling at a new job when you notice the same frustrations you thought you'd left behind or starting to creep back in. It's like you're starring in a movie you've already seen, and you know you don't like the ending. What if this isn't just bad luck? What if it's a hidden script you're following without even realizing it? A script that leads you to the same dead ends, time and time again. We feel trapped, so we do the only thing that seems logical. We tear up the script. We end the relationship, quit the job, move to a new city. We believe we've found a new movie to star in, with a better plot and a happier ending. But what if all we've really done is just change the set design? What if we've only treated a symptom, not the root cause? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on this powerful, invisible pattern. We're going to uncover two crucial things. First, why we instinctively run from our problems instead of facing them head-on. And second, how this simple act of escape creates a hidden prison in our lives. A prison we build ourselves, brick by brick. So many of us navigate life like we're playing a game without ever reading the rule book. We run into problems in our relationships, our careers, our personal growth, and we blame the game. We blame the other players. We blame the universe for dealing us a bad hand. But we rarely stop to consider that the real issue might be how we're playing. These aren't just little quirks or bad habits. They're deep-seated personal issues that we carry with us everywhere. Maybe it's a crippling fear of not being good enough, a fear that whispers in your ear every time you're about to take a risk. Maybe it's a fierce, stubborn pride that won't let you admit you're wrong, even when you know you are. Or maybe you've become so used to the role of the victim, the one who is always wronged, that you don't know how to be the hero of your own story. Does any of that sound familiar? This internal conflict is what leads us to what I call the great escape. Let's take the classic example. Romantic love. A person goes through a few painful breakups. They feel heartbroken, misunderstood, and completely exhausted by it all. Now, the difficult path, the path of growth, is to look in the mirror and ask the really tough questions. What am I bringing to the table that contributes to this outcome? Am I secretly afraid of intimacy? Do I consistently choose partners who can't meet my needs because, deep down, I don't feel worthy of a healthy relationship? But let's be honest, that's hard. That requires a level of self-reflection that can be really uncomfortable. The easier path, the path of escape, is to build a fortress around your heart and declare, love isn't for me. Everyone out there is just selfish. And just like that, the problem seems to be solved. You haven't actually resolved your issues with intimacy or vulnerability. You've just made sure you'll never have to face them again. You've traded the possibility of deep connection for the certainty of emotional safety. This pattern isn't just about love. It's everywhere. Think about the person who dreams of starting their own business. They're full of passion and big ideas. They try, once, maybe twice, and hit the inevitable obstacles. A launch doesn't go as planned. Funding falls through. The market is tougher than they thought. Instead of seeing these failures as lessons, as data points to learn from, they retreat. They go back to the safety and predictability of a 9-to-5 job and tell everyone, the economy is just too tough for small businesses right now. They didn't solve the problem of their fear of failure or lack of resilience. They just abandoned the dream. This is what I call sweeping the trash under the rug. The problem doesn't disappear. It just gets hidden. And that unresolved part of you, that fear of failure, that lack of discipline, that deep-seated belief that you're not good enough, it follows you like a shadow. It will show up in your next job as a reluctance to ask for a promotion. It will show up in your next project as procrastination. It will show up in your next attempt to build a meaningful life. You cannot outrun yourself. When we constantly choose this path of escape, we trade one kind of pain for another. We trade the sharp, intense pain of a specific failure for the dull, chronic ache of a life. We aren't really living. We're just not getting hurt. It's a life defined by what we've avoided, not by what we've embraced. And to cope with that quiet, persistent ache, we often find substitutes. We find other places to pour all of our unfulfilled needs and longings. We become workaholics, pouring all our desire for validation and purpose into our careers, We develop obsessive hobbies, or we channel it into a pet. We've all seen people who treat their dog better than any human because that love is safe. It's unconditional. A dog won't challenge you. It won't call you out on your issues. It won't trigger your deepest fears of abandonment or rejection. But this is just putting a bandage on a wound that needs stitches. The original problem, the inability to form healthy, resilient human bonds, is still there, festering under the surface. This habit of choosing escape over introspection is the root of so much of our stagnation. It keeps us in a prison of our own making, a place where we are both the guard and the inmate, pacing the same small cell year after year, wondering why the scenery never changes. The bars of this prison are made of our own justifications, our own excuses, our own fears. So, how do we break out? The first step, and this is the most important one, is to become aware, to see this pattern in yourself, without judgment, without shame, to simply notice it, like an outside observer watching a movie. Here is your first action step. It's simple. Sometime in the next day, I want you to think about one repeating struggle in your life. It could be in your relationships, your career, your health, anything. Just one. Don't try to solve it. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just acknowledge it. See the pattern. Say to yourself, there it is again. That's it. Awareness is the first key that unlocks the prison door. Because once you see the bars, once you see the pattern, you can start to understand the force that drives it. You can't change what you can't see. And by taking this first step, you're turning on the light. Now, we want to go deeper. We're going to explore the single, invisible force that drives this pattern. We're going to cover two things. First, the concept of resistance using a simple metaphor that will change how you see your life. And second, why the key to success isn't trying harder, but resisting less. I want you to imagine your life as a journey on a long road, from point A to point B now. Picture yourself on this road, but you're not walking freely. You are chained to a massive, broken-down cart. The wheels are square, the axle is rusted, solid, and it's filled with heavy, jagged stones. Every single step is a monumental effort. You are exhausted, you are slow, and you are miserable. The journey, which could have been beautiful, becomes an experience of pure torment. Now, imagine someone else on the exact same road, heading to the same destination. But instead of a cart, they're driving a smooth, well-maintained car. The engine purrs, the tires are full of air, and they travel with ease, enjoying the scenery, the music on the radio, and the freedom of the open road. The journey's the same. The destination is the same. The only difference is one of them is burdened by immense resistance, and the other is not. Your negative thoughts, your unresolved emotional baggage, your limiting beliefs about yourself and the world. These are the broken parts of your cart. Your worry, your anger, your fear, your blame. These are the heavy stones you insist on dragging with you. This internal friction is what we call resistance. When I look back at my own life, the biggest breakthroughs, the most wonderful blessings, didn't arrive because I was pulling that cart with superhuman strength. They didn't come when I was hustling the hardest or forcing things to happen. They came when I finally decided to let go of the rope. They came when my resistance was at its lowest, when I was in a state of ease and better feeling. Think of the universe as a powerful river, always flowing with abundance, opportunity, and joy. The river is always moving, always carrying with it everything you could ever want. Your job isn't to create the river or to push the water. Your only job is to stop building dams. And what are the dams? They are your resistance. So many people believe the path to getting what they want is to obsess over it, to think about their goals constantly, to cling to them with white knuckles. But if that thinking is filled with anxiety about not having it yet, if it's laced with the fear that it will never happen, then you are actually pushing it away. You are increasing your resistance. You're just gripping the rope of that heavy cart, pulling with all your might, and wondering why you're stuck in the mud. The universal law that governs this is surprisingly simple. A state of good feeling aligns you with good outcomes. When you feel better, your resistance is lower. and the blessings that are naturally flowing in your direction can finally reach you. This is not about faking a smile or ignoring your problems. It's not about toxic positivity. It's about consciously choosing to stop feeding a bad mood. In any given moment, you have the power to gently guide your thoughts toward something that feels just a little bit better. You don't have to leap from despair to ecstatic joy. You just have to let go of the rope attached to that heavy cart, just for a moment. This is the secret. The goal is not a life without challenges, but a life with less self-inflicted resistance. A life where you can navigate those challenges from the driver's seat of a car, not chained to a broken cart. So, here's your action step. I want you to become a resistance detective. Just for today, notice the moments when you feel that internal friction. When you feel anger, frustration, or worry. Don't judge it. Don't try to fix it. Just notice it and say to yourself, "Ah, there's the cart." Simply noticing is the first step to letting go of the rope. Because now that we understand what resistance is and why it's so crucial to lower it, we need the how. How do we actually do this in the middle of a stressful day? How do we manage our state when things go wrong? In the comments below, share one thing that you realized is a heavy stone in your cart. Now, this is all about action. This isn't just theory. This is about changing your life. Starting right now, it's time to build your 3-step toolkit for breaking free. These are the practical, hands-on skills you need to drop the rope, unchain yourself from the cart, and start living a life of greater ease and flow. Tool 1. Become a pattern detective. As we've discussed, a single bad event is just weather. A repeating pattern is the climate of your life. It's time to become a detective and identify that climate. The first skill is learning to distinguish between a one-off problem and a recurring theme. A flat tire is an inconvenience. Getting into financial trouble every 6 months is a pattern. A single argument is normal. Having the same argument with every person you date is a pattern. Your job is to look for these recurring themes without judgment. When you see one, that is your clue. That's when you can look back and ask the most powerful question. What was the common denominator in all of these situations? The answer, always, is you. Your mindset. Your beliefs. Your reactions. Because the pattern is repeating, the underlying thought that's causing it is also repeating, making it much easier to identify. You'll finally see it clearly. Every time this happened, I was coming from a place of deep insecurity, or I was driven by a subconscious belief that I'm not worthy of success. Seeing the pattern is the first step to changing it. Tool 2. Master the art of the in-the-moment intervention. This is perhaps the most crucial skill of all. How do you manage your state when a negative event actually happens? Let's walk through a scenario to see this in action. Imagine a person who owns an apartment. One day, they receive a call. A cheap hose on their washing machine burst, flooding their unit and causing significant water damage to several floors below. Their initial gut reaction might be a flash of anger and stress. They might think about the cheap part, the inconvenience, the staggering cost. This is the moment they reach for the rope of that heavy cart. But this is also the moment of intervention. They could go down that path of blame and anxiety, which would solve nothing and only attract more problems. Or they could choose differently. Imagine this person makes a conscious choice. They take a breath and say to themselves, "Okay, this has happened. Panicking will not fix it. What can I focus on right now to stop this downward spiral?" They start simple. Thank goodness no one was hurt. The building is still standing. They focus on the fact that they have the resources to handle it. They remind themselves that in the grand scheme of things, this too will pass. That single conscious choice would stop the chain reaction of negativity. Because they kept their resistance low, the solution could unfold with more ease. The damage to the other units might turn out to be minimal. The process of repairing their own unit might even reveal an old, faulty floor that needed to be replaced anyway. What started as a crisis could become a positive upgrade, all because they refused to pick up the rope. One uncontrolled negative reaction leads to a worse situation, which leads to an even stronger negative reaction. It's a free fall. Your job is to be the one who stops the fall, right in the moment. Tool 3. the gentle art of shifting focus. So how does one intervene when feeling really low? After a major setback, a loss, a failure, a deep disappointment, it can feel like the entire world has gone gray. The food doesn't taste good, the music sounds hollow, and everything feels wrong. In those moments, you can't just force yourself to be happy. That's not the goal. The goal is to gently shift your focus, one small step at a time. This is your toolkit for climbing the emotional ladder. First, break the loop. Your mind will want to replay the negative event over and over. Your job is to interrupt it. Get up and go for a walk. Put on a piece of music that you absolutely love. Watch a genuinely funny video. Take a nap. The action itself isn't magic. Its purpose is to create a pattern interrupt. It stops you from adding more stones to the cart. Second, find one small thing to appreciate. It doesn't have to be big. It can be the comfortable chair you're sitting in, the taste of your coffee, the fact that the sun is shining. Gratitude is the fastest way to lower resistance. It's impossible to feel genuinely grateful and intensely negative at the same time. By doing these things, you gently guide yourself out of the storm. You give yourself space. And in that space, solutions, clarity, and better feelings can find their way back to you. The world around you is a mirror, reflecting your internal state. If you want to change your world, you don't need to fight it. You just need to let go of the rope. This is not a one-time fix. This is a practice, a new way of living, but it is the most liberating practice you will ever undertake. Thank you for completing this journey. May these ideas serve as a key to unlock a new level of freedom and ease in your life. Now, it's your turn. In the comments below, tell me which of these 3 tools you are going to start practicing today. Let's make a commitment together. It's time to unchain yourself. It's time to drop the cart. It's time to enjoy the ride.